And so I thought they were okay when I did them, but I probably didn't realize how, they were fun and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think of them as being restrained at the time, and I guess I still don't see them as being that way. But definitely you can see, as I said earlier, my style changing, becoming so much bolder. And so also it's interesting to me too that at first, because like to get to a point where you declare yourself as being an artist when no one ever said that to you, that you were one, you never went to art school,
Mm-hmm.
and to start saying that I'm an artist, that can be a really scary thing. And so the way that I look at it is I began to whisper to myself that I was an artist, and eventually that whisper became a natural speaking voice. So I see the collages in the same way, that they kind of began with whispers, and then they turned into what is my natural speaking voice. And so I see this parallel. And also, I think, too, that what's happened is that as I've grown as a person, then my art has grown alongside with me. And that's like an interesting thing, too, I think. And I believe that that's probably true for many people who are creative people, that as they grow and mature and learn more about living and about life, that also makes their art change, I think. The art grows too.
Could you tell me a little bit about your art exhibitions? How you first, how you got your first one, and then how they have evolved over the years.
Well, I haven't had a lot of exhibits yet. And one of the reasons why is because I always had felt that I was going to work harder and ramp things up more when my kids were older, because I've been a single mom all these years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've done things here and there over the years. And I can't remember when I first showed in something, but just like a number of other things, this whole accidental thing, going back to that again. I had an exhibit, I guess you call it was an installation, totally installation, at Jeffrey, New York, down in the meatpacking district.
Mm-hmm.
And they took all of my sculpture pieces and did them in a tumble and a jumble. You walk in the store, and right on the right-hand side were all these pieces of mine. And so it was like a one-person installation for a month at Jeffrey. But what happened is that the person who was the creative director of Jeffrey came to my house for dinner. And so that's how it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so different things have happened like that for me. And the last thing that I did last week, I was in the International Contemporary Furniture Fair, and that was really a surprise to me because I had attended FIT,
Mm-hmm.
and FIT, I got an email from them. I'm sitting here minding my own business, and then I get an email from them saying, "Oh, do you want to be involved in a booth, an alumni booth at the ICFF?" I'm like, "What?" You're kidding me. So again, they just found my work online, and then they invited me to be involved in this. Mm-hmm. So I've been I was in a show with the Armory, like a juried arts and crafts show once, and I did another outdoor thing at Rockefeller Center. So I've done different things over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that I don't have a set thing yet about how to generate monies in terms of cyclical things or shows I always do, anything like that yet. Mm-hmm. I'm still putting that together, but there are other ways that I generate money. Mm-hmm. And one of the ways is I have photo shoots here at my apartment. So, this is the Apryl Miller Zeitgeist, right? Yes, it's the Zeitgeist.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said earlier, I'm on hold for this TV commercial for Crayola crayons. Mm-hmm. And let me see. I've done shoots with Saks Fifth Avenue. I did an incredible shoot with them. And in the process of doing the shoot, they also interviewed me for their blog because they came over and they were going, wait a minute, we have to talk to the woman who owns this place. Who are you? What are you doing? What do you do? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like things sort of happen by doing stuff with me. Mm-hmm. So I've had shoots here for Lee Jeans and Mademoiselle Magazine, ASOS clothing company, and that was with Zoe Kravitz. She had a little video of her here. So over the years, I've done lots and lots of different shoots. I can't even remember, all the names of them, the companies and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, like a Working Mother magazine, I've done a number of like catalog shoots for like preteen clothing companies, things like that. Kids fashion shoots a lot. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited about this Crayola shoot because I've never done a TV commercial before.
Yeah.
So that would be like really, really fun to have a TV commercial. That would be great. I've had like TV show pilots shot here, all kinds of stuff over the years. So that's one thing. That's one way of generating revenue. And then I get paid to do tours of my space. And sometimes sales arrive from those experiences. Mm-hmm. And I used to do open studios. I don't do those anymore. It was for a while. And then I sent out a monthly email list to my people. And sometimes that can yield results too. Mm-hmm. People find me through different publicity things that I've done and contact me about different things. So it's kind of like right now, kind of like a mishmash of things. But when I did the ICFF, that was a very different experience for me, and I'm still kind of processing it because it was, it's very much to the trade, and I'd let people talk to me about how many of these pieces can you make, mm-hmm. Licensing conversations, just the whole world of design that I don't usually think about that much or really, people always think I'm a designer, mm-hmm. like I said earlier. But I think that actually my place ultimately is going to end up being straddling both the art and the design world. I think that's because I'm not really exclusively one or the other. I think I really am kind of in the middle. Mm-hmm. So I think of it, it's what I call the teeter. I'm teetering like on a teeter-totter.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't land on one side or the other. I'm still teetering in the center. And, I make these furniture sculptures the way I do, obviously on purpose, right? On purpose, mm-hmm. I make them the way that I do. Mm-hmm. Because they're not really furniture, even though they're exactly like a piece of furniture. They're art pieces that you can sit on that tell stories. Mm-hmm. So, it's a whole different kind of thing. Like when you do trade shows, it's like very much hit and run. People are very busy. They just want to look, take pictures, get your card, run away. Mm-hmm. And it's not like an art exhibit where people have a paper about the work that's there and they're learning about the artist. They want to know what the artist does, who's the artist. They're leisurely walking around the gallery. It's like so different from that. Mm-hmm. So it was very, kind of hectic and like I said, this whole idea of this whole different world of like licensing and making pieces for hotels and this kind of thing was really different for me. So, it's a matter of like following up with people and also some publicity things that might come out of that too, which would be good. Mm-hmm. But I showed my newest sculptures at this show, my newest pieces. And out of all the pieces I've made, and I've made a lot over the years, these are the best pieces I've ever done. And I was just like, I was so happy the way they turned out. And because I made them as a set, you look at them and you can tell that they're related to each other. And I put different elements in them so that they would be related. They're called Chair for Hope number 1, number 2, and number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And they are actually a commentary, a statement on our post-Obama world. And so I put these elements in them that to me are symbols of hope, such as the welting I used around all of them. I used a yellow fabric because yellow to me is the color of hope. And so these weltings envelop the pieces much like a mother would hold her child. And there are different elements of darkness I put in the pieces. And then I also put a sun symbol on each piece, but each piece is a different sun symbol. It's not the same. And I put on the back of one of them, there's a circle for the sun, and then shooting all across the back, and it's a very large shaped chair, I did about 12 or 13 trims, like a sunburst, like flying across the back of the chair. And these pieces are really evocative, and I never had people take as many pictures. My pieces as they did at that show. It's like they were just, every time I turned around, there's more pictures. Oh, can I do, picture. And so people were very moved by the pieces, even though it was a trade show. Mm-hmm. They were very moved. So that was a different experience for me. And it was a very good one also.
With your home and how it's now, and actually has been attracting a lot of attention throughout the years, has it changed, or have you added or tweaked elements in it, or has it been the same as when you first designed it years ago?
Well, it occurred to me years ago that I could spend the rest of my life in my house doing things to it. Just, weird, funny little things, taking like little sculptures or beads and putting them on the top of the door jambs, all kinds of things, cutting out pieces of paper and sticking them on the walls, different shapes, and just any kind of wild idea you can think to decorate things, just like anything. And then I realized that I had to make a decision. Was I going to do that and just have my house and my art, or was I going to make other art and get my art pieces out into the world? So I didn't want to just be known for the space. Mm-hmm. So then I started, to produce more artwork and stop futzing with stuff in the house, because it's so fun to do that.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah, it's like so easy, just to think of ideas to do things, because I'm like never at a loss for creative ideas. Mm-hmm. They just come to me, and sometimes I just have to tell myself to turn off, because I just can't. I'm tired of thinking of ideas, so I have to sort of turn it off. Mm-hmm. But it's a good thing, because I never feel like I'm blocked creatively.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
With as many projects that you're working on, how do you manage your time and focus? Do you have a routine or ritual that you do that helps you become more creative or get you into a creative flow? Or how do you structure your day? Well,
it depends on what I'm working on. And part of my story is that I'm still mothering. I'm not quite done with that yet. Not quite done yet. My one daughter went away to college and came back to New York City to finish in New York, so she's living with me. Mm-hmm. And my youngest one, even though the older one graduated, my younger one is still a college student. So she's, she comes and goes, and she's in an all-feminist punk rock band, so they go on tour and come back home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and my other daughter is a DJ, so there's all this musical stuff happening with my kids. Mm-hmm. But the first thing I like to do when I wake up is put on a Frank Sinatra record. So
I like it. Is there any particular song you pick, or?
Well, see, the thing is, Yuri, I can be very much a creature of habit, and so I swore to the Lord, I put on the same CD every day. It isn't like I vary it. It's the same one. So, if I ever am dating someone, I don't know if he'll be able to take that or not, I don't know. But anyway, when I feel like I'm beginning to tire of it, then I say, April, okay, just kind of, let's not listen for a couple days. And then I feel like I'm ready, then I go back and start listening to it again. But it's just like when Frank sings,
Mm-hmm.
Everything is right with the world.